now going to touch the pad. Everybody in the world fused. Yeah. Now then, crew, and welcome back to the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. And Toolgirl Sam is here in the workshop again to give me a hand. Yeah, and this afternoon we're doing Ben's 1993 Ford Courier Ute. Just an engine oil and filter change on it. Yes, we overfilled it a little bit, but I'll sort that out. And on this particular video, we're going to fit new sparking plugs. Now these are the NGK variety. These are an excellent choice, and I've always stood by NGK plugs. Not a sponsor, by the way, although if they want to be, then give me a call. Yeah, never really had any problems. Stay well away from other inferior brands. Now, I was reading through, first of all, I blew the dust off the owner's manual, which was in the vehicle and never been opened. It was still in its little plastic bag. And I wanted to know what the plug gap should be. So, on chapter 7, page 2, this is the 2.2 litre engine. It tells us, if you can read that or not, that the plug gap should be 0.8 of a millimetre, plus or minus 0.05 of a mil. That's pretty accurate, isn't it? Yeah, so 0.8 of a mil gap. So the first thing to do, before we fit these new ones, is to make sure that they are gapped correctly. And to do that, we're going to need a feeler gauge. And Toolgirl Sam knows all about feeler gauges, don't you, Toolgirl Sam? Because you did some the other day, didn't you? I was doing my credits video, and you were stood there. I think it was like Honda Dominator we did the valve clearance on. Yep. And you were there looking at all these feeler gauges, going, "Oh, there's so many."
They look like nail files.
They do. Can you find me a 0.8 millimetre on there, and we'll just check these plugs before we even go over to the vehicle and get them adjusted up. You got it? Oh man, she's so quick. Okay. Should we check all of them? We should do, really. These are factory set. Yeah, Sam, you can check that. So if you hold the plug, don't drop it, whatever you do. And remember what to do? You've done one of these before? Okay, I'll show you. I'll do one, you can do the rest to camera while I'm rambling on. Okay, so you've got your spark plug, and you've got the positive electrode and the negative electrode, and the spark basically jumps that gap. It's pretty cool. Now, this is a 0.8 feeler gauge, and the plan is it should just fit. Oh, look at that. It does. Don't drop it. So that is absolutely bang on. So that one's good. All right, Sam, you grab that, and I'll put this one back in. You can start checking the other ones if you want. Now that I've just trained you up on how to check plug gap. And if you do need to alter the plug gap, then you can get special tools. While Sam's doing that, you can get special tools like this one here. Look, this one's made by Powerbuilt. Teng's gonna kill me showing this. Okay, and these basically are your little wires for checking your gap. Although none of those are any good. 0.89, nah, they're all weird sizes. But this little end tag here, you can put onto the negative electrode and give it a little tweak. What I tend to use, to be perfectly honest, is just a little flat screwdriver. I just put it in there and give it a little tweak to open it. If I need to close it, then I usually just give it a little push against the vise, just to close the gap, and then check it again. And usually I overshoot, so I then have to tweak it open again. Obviously, you only get so many times of adjustment before the electrode's going to snap off. How we're looking, Sam? Pretty good?
The first one was tight, the second one was slightly more loose, and then this one's tight.
But
like the same as the first
right,
one.
okay. But it fits in all of them, doesn't it? And
yeah, but this one slips.
Ooh, okay. Good call. See, this is why I have tool girls. It's great. It saves me a job. Yeah, you're right. It is a little bit. This is the one that's slack, right? Mm. Yeah, it is. There's a little bit. If you get it, yeah, there we are. Look. See if I can show it to camera. It's very hard to show looseness on camera, but if I can get it right, there you go. You can see when I get the angle just right, it's sliding across quite freely. So maybe I'll just give that a little tiny tweak. Yeah, there you go. Look, just see there was. It's making a liar of me now as a spark plug. There you are. There's a little bit of movement on the feeler gauge, so it does need a little tiny tweak. We have tweaked it too much. Oh, there we go, look. I think that's pretty good. That'll do. Excellent. Sorted. Right, Sam. Okay, so we can. That one's okay.
I haven't checked the camera.
Oh, for God's sake! What are you waiting for? The feeler gauges?
Yeah.
There you go. Professional.
Oh.
Any good?
Oh no, that's alright.
You happy with that one? Has it passed the SAM inspection?
Yeah.
Pretty good. It shouldn't be tight. You should be able to flow through pretty good. That's
Should
all right.
be that way.
Yeah, I'll go with that. It's only Benzoate. It's near enough. And it is plus or minus 0.05 of the mils, so
Yeah.
obviously it isn't isn't any more than that. Okay, right, let's head over to the vehicle and we'll locate where the spark plugs are, show you how to pull the HT leads off, and then you can whip out the old plugs and we'll put the new ones in.
Okay.
Easy. Here we go. All right, Sam, now probably easiest, because we're doing some work on the air filter later on, let's whip the air filter out of the way and then we can get a nice good camera shot of all the spark plugs. So if you want to flick these little clips up around the side, you get that one, I'll get these. You got it? Oh, it's too hard. Oh, is that there? You got the worst one, didn't you? That is tight. There we go.
That's why.
All right, then I'll let you off. Right, so we're going to expose the carburettor, so it's very important we don't drop anything down it, otherwise it'll start making nasty noises when we start it up. Right, so we can get rid of that. There we go, that can go on the bench. Get rid of the air filter, which actually doesn't look too bad. We've got a new one for it there. Okay, and I'm going to put a little rag down there because I'm a dab hand at dropping stuff down there, down the intake. Always a good idea to lock it up. But you must remind me to take it out later on before we try and start it. Otherwise it sucks it in and it all goes a bit wrong. Almost got the better of that one, didn't it? Right. So I'll just chuck that in there just to stop us being idiots. Right, Sam, can you get me a 10mm socket and a ratchet, please?
The ratchet's the windy one, eh?
Yeah, the windy one. That's it. Good stuff. Right, I'll throw that out of the way. Cool, that's the bench. Now we've got a few more mounting bolts to take out. And now look. Yeah. I don't know how many more there are. There's another one around there. There isn't. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all of them. I haven't taken this off before, so. I know Ben has because he did the rock colour gasket.
There's like another one here, but it's there.
Oh, well
Irrelevant.
spotted. Jeez, they're everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah.
God, you are good. There you go. Right. So I think now, nobody will put more than 3 bolts. Okay, that feels pretty good. Right, we've just got that pipe there off the rocker cover. We've got a vacuum pipe there to take off. Could you pass us a little flat screwdriver, Sam, please? I feel like a dentist. Pass me the drill.
My friend is a dental assistant at her parents' practice.
Really?
Yeah.
There we go. Right. Remind me to put that back on again, otherwise we'll be in trouble. Okay, 1 screwdriver. Now hopefully that's everything.
Yeah, it's connected to something.
Yeah, with a pipe. Another vacuum pipe. Go on then. You can get it off? Cool. Right, so you're in charge of putting that
And I
one.
think there's another one.
Oh my god! How many pipes? That's that one.
Thanks.
Right, that's it.
Okay, yep.
Excellent. Right. I'll only forget to put half of those back on there. Oakley dokley. Right, so we can now see the HT leads down here. Look, we've got number 1 cylinder here. We've got number 2 here, 3, and right at the back, number 4, and that's how we number the cylinders: 1, 2, 3, 4, going from the cam belt end in this case. Okay, now we need to pull off the HT leads. Now, if they all seem to be the similar kind of length, then it'd be really easy to mix up numbers 2 and number 3.
Yep.
So it's probably the easiest way. Actually, these ones are even labelled. We don't have to do anything about it. But if you're not sure, before you pull them off, do label them up, because it's a really common mistake to get them the wrong way around. So if I pull number, well, I'll pull number 4 off because it's hard for you to reach over there, isn't it? Well, that was easy, wasn't it? Right, so there's number 4. If you want to pull the other 3 off for us. Right, it's important you don't pull the wire. You must actually get hold of the actual rubber. Oh, good job.
Oh, that's why they're so difficult.
Yeah.
Long.
They're very long. There you go. That's it. You
That
got it.
was easy.
So you can pull all of that out of the clips now. We can get rid of all that stuff. Remember we did the points before on this one? Okay, so all we need now is an extension bar, a spark plug socket and a ratchet, and we can get those spark plugs taken out. Oh. That's his rattle, look. We'll fix that. Come on, Sam. Come here. Excellent. Right. Okay. You're daydreaming today, girl, aren't you? It's all right. It's all good. Okay, so obviously you need a socket to extract the old spark plugs. This is one of the new ones. And this is a special spark plug socket. It's a 16mm, if you can read that on there, look, 16mm. And on the inside, you'll be able to see this very well, but on the inside there's a rubber insert. And what that does, the idea behind it, is when you put the spark plug in, it holds the spark plug from falling out. But then once you've done it up, you can then pull the socket off quite easily. It just means that you can lower the spark plug down wherever the spark plug hole is. Sometimes they're quite deep. And if it drops, it can hit the electrode and bend the electrodes. It's really important when you put them in. Put them in nice and gently, and don't drop them in the hole. Otherwise, your plug gap's gone out the window, hasn't it? Yeah. Right, Sam. So before we do anything with these new ones, we need to take the old ones out. So there's your socket. You'll need that. Probably that extension bar there would be a good one. This sort of 6-inch one to your left. That's it. We'll have that. And we'll need the tang ratchet as well. Right, here we go. You ready, Sam?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, so start off with an easy one because we don't know how tight these are going to be. So maybe start off with number 2. If you have to do it from the front, I think. So you want to put your socket down there. Am I on? I think I am on. There we go. Yeah. So you just want to pull that. You want to hold this end with one hand and pull with the other, because what you don't want is it to pivot, to go from side to side. Otherwise, you can break the insulation off that white part of the spark plug's quite brittle. Cool. Is it coming out? That was easy.
Pretty loose.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Well, that's not good, because I know Ben's been in these, giving them a clean up.
Can you twiddle them? Like, do I need this? Or?
Yeah, if it's really loose.
I believe it is.
If you press your button and take your ratchet off. Yeah, I reckon you could turn that. Or you could even use... This would be quite cool for this job. So if you pull that out, stick that on there, then you get like a screwdriver thing to use.
Sweet.
Gives you a bit more leverage.
Oh my god, see, there we go. Towards me.
That's right. And that's coming out at a slight angle, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not 90 degrees to the block, so we've got to remember that when we're putting the new one in, otherwise we'll cross thread it. That should be about it.
Yeah.
You got it? It should stay. Oh, did it not stay in the thingy?
Yeah.
That's a bit weird. Why didn't it stay in the thingy?
It's burnt.
Oh, it's running pretty well though. See, it's a nice sort of browny tan colour.
Okay, so it's amazing like that.
That's how it should be. Oh, it should stay in. Maybe you didn't quite push it on hard enough. Cool. Okay. Right. So we'll stick that on the bench. Look at those later on. How's it looking?
Yep.
Is that one a bit tighter, is it?
Yeah, it was a little tighter, but still fine.
Cool. So if you go down and crack all the remaining ones off, then you can get rid of the ratchet, and we can just use the screwdriver to buzz them all out.
Nice. So I take them out to a point and then go on to the...
and then go on to your next one. Have you done them before? Try number 4 down there. He's the furthest away. Can you see number 4?
No.
Well, we took a HT lead off, so it's got to be there somewhere. Where are the other holes? It was right at the back.
Oh, yeah.
You got it? Somewhere.
It's a matter of
It's got to have
feeling.
one.
Okay. Oh god, that went on a weird angle.
Hang on. So there you go. You're on now. It's alright. It's only a thing. Shall I give you a push?
Yeah.
You ready?
No, this one's really tight.
Is it? Ben's been a bit over enthusiastic then, has he? Shall I crack it off here?
Yeah.
Don't want you slipping and hurting yourself.
Stretching my legs, trying
Man,
to reach.
that is tight.
Yep.
Jeez, Benjamin Young, what you been doing? Oh, there you go. Right, Sam, all yours. I was looking around to try and find the screwdriver and I have no idea where I put it. It's not really a screwdriver, it's like a socket driver, isn't it?
Oh, where? I thought I put it somewhere.
Yeah. Ah, no, it's moved. Right, so you've done 4, 2's already out, you've done 3. How about number 1? Is that still to crack off?
Oh,
What?
it's not even out.
Oh yeah, we could do that with a screwdriver, like with the
Right.
socket driver. If you crack off number 1, see if you can get in there. And at least they're all cracked off then, out there we can get rid of the
Yeah.
ratchet then. Oh, look at
Got
that. Cool. So you can just press the button if you want. Oh, there we are.
Oh.
That'll do. That's alright. There we go. Right.
Can I swap?
Swap time. Go for it.
Should I start on that?
Wherever you want. Yeah, wherever.
I feel
wherever.
like this one's the most difficult. And it's on that angle. Really weird angle.
Man, you want to try doing Subaru spark plugs. Because the cylinder heads are right down here. You get put against the wing. They're a nightmare to do.
And they're the stupidest cars.
Yeah, this is actually quite easy in comparison. But you've got a pretty good feeling knowing that we're actually going to not just taking things apart, we're putting them back together as well, which is...
Eventually.
Yeah, I hope so. Oh, there we go, really.
Here we go.
You got it? Perfect.
I believe so.
I'll steal that one.
That one's black.
Like crackers. Well, it is. That one's running a bit rich. Okay, so that's number 4. I'll put them in order. That's
Yeah.
4. That's number 2. Okay, can we have number 3 out next then? That one down
maybe
there.
we'll do it in order.
Yeah, the problem with this ute is it only moves in front of the garage and away from the garage a lot of the time, and because it's running on choke most of the time, the plugs, they foul up because it's running too rich. Oh yeah, that one's alright. That's number 3, wasn't it, that
Yeah.
one? Right, one more to go,
I'm
Sam.
stretching the back of my knees.
See, being a mechanic, you've got to be pretty nimble, haven't you, to get around
Yeah.
places and stuff. Always clambering around. Yeah. Marmite spotted somebody or something.
I don't know why I thought her name was Poppy.
Must be another dog. You know another dog called Poppy?
Must do, one that's got to look similar because every other time I call her Poppy. Which is not Marmite.
Is that quite tight, that one?
I think so.
You've got to be really
It's
careful.
tighter than that.
When you're getting near to the end of the threads and it starts to go loose, you've got to be really careful that you've got the angle right, otherwise
Yeah.
you can damage the threads. And it's the threads in the cylinder
Okay,
head that
it's
we're worried about.
looser now.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody
That
good.
one's more
Ready?
good.
Ugh. See, that's pretty rich as well. So 1 and 4 are running quite rich, and 2 and 3 are running fine. Okay, well, we're about ready for the new plugs.
Yeah.
Right, back to the bench, Sam. That's classic Sam, isn't it?
It looks like I have a half face.
2 halves, glued together in the middle.
I mean, Tom and face is so symmetrical that they can't like, there's no point photoshopping my face because it's symmetrical. And the point of using
Bloody
Photoshop
good.
is on people who don't have a symmetrical face.
It's funny you should say that. Looking at your face, it does
It's
look.
very equal. And I
It's
think that's
definitely
why I
two
hate
halves
my
of the
face
same
so
person.
much. It's so much the same.
Yeah. Did you see that picture I put on Instagram of you when I caught the frame when you were flicking your hair and it's a
Yeah.
perfect
a
sort
little-
of bell shape.
Yeah, almost like a halo.
Yeah, it's bloody cool. I do like that picture. Very
I
nice.
do that a lot.
It worked well. And you're feeling. I think last time you were here, you were quite ill, weren't you?
Yeah.
But you're right now?
because we were living at that other house, which was
Damp. That was the problem, wasn't it?
Damp
Yeah, you're all sorted
houses.
now.
yeah.
Okay, now according to our friends NGK, oh, and that's the spark. I didn't even give you the Sparkplug part number there. Look, BCPR5ES. Huh, BCPR5ES. Hang on a minute. What page was it? There we are. 7.2. Sparkplug. Sparkplug. I'm sure I read the Sparkplug.
Electrical. Oh.
Where did I read the? Yeah, but I want the part number. Hang on. Sure, I read part number. Oh, hang on. It's in a different bit. It's under maintenance. Just bear with me a minute, people, because I'm a bit concerned. Just go and grab one of the old plugs, Sam. Let's see what it had in before. While I try and find. Not try. I will find. It's in here somewhere. Periodic maintenance.
BCPR5ES.
So same again then.
Yeah.
Maintenance.
Japan.
Maintenance 6. I think it was under 6. 6. It's got me bugged now. I'm sure I read something different before. How not to overfill your engine oil. Donkey. Alternator. Oil. Engine oil. How to, it even tells you how to change your engine oil and everything. It's pretty cool. Air cleaner. Sparking plugs. Right. 2 litre except Australia. Well, we're not Australia,
Wait,
so
it's not even. It's spot wrong. Australia. So it's
that
halfway between Australia and Austria.
it is. It's a new country. Look, there. Never heard of that place before. Australia.
And that's spelled right above it.
Australia. Yeah. Yeah, the
Pretty
one above
much
right.
sounds like how they speak.
Okay, so the 2.2 litre, they reckon either a BPR5ES, or a BPR6ES. There, look. Okay, and we've got BCPR5ES. God, I should know what that means now, shouldn't I? Maybe it's just to do with the top. Doesn't matter. Had them in before. It's going to get them again. Runs fine. Right, so our friends, as I was saying, down at NGK, say very explicitly not to apply any lubricant to the threads on the spark plug. And the reason they give for that is it affects the torque. Obviously, it's easier to wind the spark plug into the cylinder head, and then you tend to over tighten it if you're using a torque wrench. Yeah, I'm going to veto that, I'm sorry, but I've had so many C spark plugs in cylinder heads that I use a bit of copper paste, and the stuff that I use, and you can use any copper paste you want, this is that one there, look, okay, all the way from England. I'll do one, Sam, and you can do the rest. Just can't drop them on the bench, because this is a really strong steel bench and it would destroy a spark plug if it landed on there. So all you need to do is just put about that much on there, and that will actually, it's a heat resistant lubricant, it's copper paste, use it on brakes and stuff as well, and that'll mean that we can get that spark plug back out again at a later date. And you can guarantee that these ones that we took out today will have had copper paste put on, because Ben's been well trained by his dad, you know, what to do, and he'll argue the point as well. All right, Sam, I've done that one, and that came out of that box. I'll stick it back in the box for a second just so it's sort of protected. Stick it in there, look. So if you want to do the other 3 for me, there's your copper paste, and it's just on the less is more in this case, and just on the threads. If you show the people, then they can see what you're doing. I'll let you have the camera if you want. There you go. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
Can you see? That's right. I need it.
It's weird. And if you can try and do it on this side of the plug, then they can see what's going on, you see. Even I had to... Oh, hang on, I'll show you. So you get your little brush and do it that way. So you're going with the threads. There you go. All these tricks.
Magic.
So good. You realise you're going to be dreaming now about lubing up spark plugs again.
Basically. That was on your did.
That's the good one. Right, that's one that I've done. That's done. Put that in a box. I can be box boy.
Wrong one. This was the one that's done.
Oh, okay. Do you swap? Have that one. Right, getting very confused now.
Everything looks the same.
They do. They all look the same.
Oh.
So much concentration going on. Do you swap? Yeah, I don't drop it. I keep saying that because you only drop them once and that's it, game over. And I don't think I've got any spare ones. You're making a real issue of this, aren't you?
Yeah.
Good job. Okay. Right, Sam.
Very hard.
It is. Let's get these slapped in the vehicle.
The vehicle.
And then we can call it a day on this one. And then we can find something else to do on it. Right, there's your new plugs. You'll need those. And we'll start off by putting them in using that socket driver thing, my jig. Okay, let's go for it. Back to the truck. All right, Sam.
Pop one in.
That's cool. So the trick here is none of them were straight in, whether they're all at a slight angle. So.
Which is like pretty much that.
Yep, I'll get a torch actually as well. I'll hold the torch for you. There we are. And then you might give you a better idea. So we'll do number one first. And you can see now the angle you need to be at to get the threads to start, because it's really important we don't knacker the threads up, because this is an aluminium head. So I think you need to come, that's it, across this way a little bit. There you go. You just give it gingerly give it a turn, and you should start to feel those threads start. Cool.
I'm doing it.
You're doing a great job. It's a warm day, the flies are out again. Middle of winter and the flies are out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I noticed it started to get warmer already. It's like the beginning of summer again.
And lighter nights. It's getting a little bit lighter. Yep, Team Marmite's back.
Mermaid.
Marmite, come here. Oh, go on, you can say hello to the people.
Hi, my friend.
There, look.
Oh, she's like, I don't like this.
It's alright, it's not going to run.
Hi. Hi.
Shop dog.
Dirty dog.
Yeah, oh, she stinks, doesn't she?
Yeah, you're a
Where
stinker.
have you been? Is it sheep poo? I bet it is.
Okay, that's feeling tighter now.
Cool, okay, so you can just crack on and do the same for the other three. And then we'll go around and
Sweet.
we'll tweak them all up.
Okay, well, at least I know that definitely went in.
Oh, it's not often you get to go on camera, is it? Eh?
And she's a poser.
She is. Charlotte's taught her that. Charlotte used to take so many photos with her and stuff. And she just dress her up. She just put all sorts of stuff on her.
You're pretty. She's like, what are you doing?
Oh, hang on. Torchman's not done a very good job, is he?
I can.
Sorry, my mate.
Can see.
You go find some rats to chase.
Yeah, that one. This one is definitely the weirdest angle.
Yeah. See, all right. How's that? Because the problem is with these sparkplug threads is usually you only get one chance.
Yeah. Do they crack easily or something?
Well, if your spark plug goes in at the wrong angle, it cuts a new thread. And usually you can feel it on your tool that it's just getting tight before it should be getting tight. But even then, it can be a bit of a problem trying to then get the spark plug in the right angle. Oh, you got it sus there, Sam. It's kind of nice and easy, isn't it?
Yep.
Cool. Right. Number 3. Good job. Oh, and you're right, that number 4 is a real pain to get to, isn't it?
Yep.
It's not easy.
So 2 and 4 are on really weird angles, and the other ones are reasonably straight.
Good old Ford. Well done.
I don't.
Alright, so where are you going now? You're going to do number 3 or number 4? It doesn't matter. Which should
Probably
you
4.
get 4 out of the way?
Yeah.
Bite the bullet. Is that going to work if I hold it there? Because I can't quite see what's going on.
Yeah, that's good.
Out there, okay.
My ears are going.
It is. Is that driver too long? Is it? Can you not get the angle right? Are you
Got
okay?
it. It's just this little one right here that it's knocking against.
Brake pipe. I can get you something a bit shorter if you want.
Yeah, it
Okay.
feels tight.
Okay.
Unless it actually did screw in.
I don't think it turned enough to be tight, to be proper tight.
Okay, that's better.
You got it? Oh, such a professional.
Now it's tightening.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just those things there.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it? It's always best to be more, always err on the side of caution. If you're not sure, just double check, take it out and have a look, see what's going on. I have chewed up a few spark threads in my time, and it's not a good thing to do. I get a bit upset myself. Right, so we've got one more to go, Sam.
It's the easy one, that's why I wanted to do it.
Yeah, you saved the easy one till last, didn't you?
Just like I usually leave my vegetables till last.
Oh, good, because you like vegetables?
Yeah, I think.
I'm the
I think
opposite.
I like them.
I save my vegetables till last because, I hope that I'm maybe full by that point and can't eat them.
Yeah.
Bloody good. I always find it easy if you, it sounds daft, but if you go anti-clockwise just to start off with, then you can usually just feel when the threads sort of clicks, and then you turn it and it starts nice and easy. Okay, so we need the ratchet now. So yeah, I'll have that one. There you go. That's for you. And it probably is still in undo mode from previous.
I know it's that switch.
Yeah.
Okay. Do up mode.
Do up mode.
And so, should I go like the way that I was?
Yeah, so I'll do one for you as a test. Shall I do number 4?
Yeah.
Do the hard one for you. And get it on there. There we go. You did a great job putting that in there. So once it starts to go tight now, right?
Yeah.
Now it's got a crushable washer on there, like a sealing washer. Because these are new spark plugs, it'll keep turning quite a bit until it goes tight. So that's 1/4 of a turn. That's 1/2 a turn. So that's about 1/2 and then 1/4. No, 1/2 and an 1/8, whatever that is. So put about 3/4 of a turn all up, and then that's tight. Okay. There we go. Right, so it's on number 3 for you. We'll work our way to the front, yeah. So you just wind it in until you feel the resistance, and then you're going to be doing approximately about 3/4 of a turn from that point. Should be sufficient to seal them properly in the head. And with the old ones, we found there was a real mixture of tightness, wasn't there?
Yeah.
The rear one was really tight, and one of these was almost loose, wasn't it, really? Poor old Ben.
So,
So
gotta.
what are you up to now? Is that 1/4 of a
Yeah.
turn so far? Okay.
I can only go this far because of the
Yeah.
dip.
That's 1/2. Yep. You want about another 1/4 of a turn, and you're done. If you're struggling, I can help you. Hang on. How about if we do it like so? We still need 1/4 of a turn, right? So 1/4 of a turn. So it's so easy for me from where I stood. You see.
Yeah.
There you go. Right. 2 more to go, Sam. Did a pretty good job. You'll be servicing your own car soon, won't you?
Yeah. I think it's due. Oh, it's due to have one.
Do you want to stand where I am? And then you can do it across. Might be easy. bit easier from there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's harder to get your tool in to start off with the socket, but once you're in, it's actually you got more leverage. Right?
Yeah, I think it's on.
Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. So it's important that when you're doing them up, that you support this, because when this wiggles across, it can snap. It can damage the porcelain. So you're just turning it as opposed to pushing the whole thing to one side.
It's very tight.
Is that tight? Let's have a little feel. Just double check. There you go. That's cool. That's that one done. Last one, Sam. There you go. And if you were to take these spark plugs out and put them back in and not replace them, just to clean them or something, then that wash is already crushed, so you don't have to turn it anywhere near as far again. It's usually about an eighth of a turn is enough, just to get the seal back.
I think I'm done, but I don't want to push it. So.
There we go. That'll do.
Surprising how easy some of them are to do. Like how it's like a few swivels and the next one's like no.
Yeah, it is bizarre, isn't it? I mean, don't forget it's an old truck, so you don't quite know what's going on down there.
Yeah, reconnect.
So if you want to, you can come around this side. It might be easier to push them from this side.
Yeah. And they've got the names on them.
They have, yeah. I mean, obviously the length is a bit of a clue.
Yeah.
But I think 2 and 3 you could easily get mixed up.
Yeah. This is 4.
Yeah. So you pop number 4 on. You've got to wiggle it down until you hear the. You'll actually hear a click.
Yeah.
That's it. Cool. And then we've got to find number 3. You should have a number 3 on the
2.
lead.
This is 3.
Yep.
That's the click.
Cool, yeah. Let's get rid of those.
I'm not sure about that one.
Have a feel.
Just
It might be that it's.
too much.
Oh no, she's on. There we are.
Sweet.
Yeah, it didn't quite make the standard clicking noise. I think it had a new set
I
on
just
when we first
popped
bought
it out.
Hey,
I just popped it out.
let's come out again.
Oh, did I not?
No, she's alright. She's
Okay,
good.
I thought I did.
Yeah, they're all good.
There, these look like those things that you suction onto cow teats.
Yes, that's exactly what they remind me of. Yeah, you're right. I wondered what
Straight
it
away I
was.
was like, I've seen one of these before.
Right, so the last thing to do now is to put these leads. In fact, I'm just going to switch that one around. Just put it through there, look, it's a bit neater. Otherwise Ben will tell me off, because, you know, even though he's getting a free service, for God's sake. Right, so these HT leads, we call them, they need to just be clipped into there. So if you stick that one in the next one up and then that one in the top one. There you go. It just helps to stop them chafing on things, because there's pretty high voltage running through those. Hey, another job done. We've done oil change, we've done plugs.
Whew, doing stuff.
We're feeling positive and
instead of destroying stuff.
yeah, it's bloody awesome. Right, back to the bench, Sam.
Sweet.
Jolly good job. High five. Fantastic. Right, well, before we sign the video off, just out of interest, Sparkplug Condition. What do they tell you? Well, we've taken out all 4 old spark plugs. Sam's got probably cylinder number 3 and cylinder number 4. I've got cylinder number 2 and cylinder number 1. You can see there, look, there's a very distinct difference between the colours of 2 and 3 compared to cylinders 1 and 4. This is number 1 and that one there will be number 4. And that nice sort of tan colour is a good running mixture. That's what you want to be seeing. Black and sooty like this is basically telling us that that cylinder is running rich and getting over fueled. Now, I'm not unduly worried because this ute spends most of its time just blocking the garage doors. So in the morning, Ben will reverse it, he'll start it up, reverse it 3 meters, turn it off, get his motorbike out, start it up, drive it forwards 3 meters, and then go off for the day. And then it all happens again in the evening. So that engine's running, you know, what we call on choke, on cold start, where it's getting massive amounts of fuel compared to normal running on a regular basis. Now, that doesn't just cause problems with spark plugs. I'm not too sure the reason why number 2 and number 3 aren't also black. All I can say is they probably warm up quicker, you know, and burn off the carbon on a regular basis. But cylinders 1 and 4 will take longer to warm up, and of course we're getting the carbon build-up, basically. That's what I'm going to say anyway. The other problem with that kind of scenario is because it's running so rich most of the time, that's going to wash the oil off the cylinders. So the piston rings and the bore is going to eventually score. It's going to wear excessively. So it's not a good thing for an engine to be started and stopped all the time. You'd do better to leave it running for a few minutes and let it warm through before turning it off. But he never has any time. He's got to get on the bike and do, you know, walk factor 7 down the motorway to get to uni on time every morning. Oh, and Benjamin's broken every single one of his motorcycles. At this point in time, he's on a lone bike.
Wow.
Yeah, he's not a happy bunny.
And he works at a bike shop.
I know he's got 9 motorcycles and none of them work anymore. Even his WR, he had a blowout going over Harbour Bridge on the rear tyre. And he held it. He did a whacking great drift around the corner at the bottom heading into Auckland. And he was a bit upset. It did scare him a little bit, but he did stay on, which was pretty good. He's a good lad. Okay, crew. Well, we've just fitted a new set of spark plugs to a what was it, a 1993 Ford Courier Ute. What's left of it. Ben's modified it quite heavily to a standard Ute. There's all sorts of gizmos and gadgets and bolt-on goodies and stuff all over it now, including his new front bumper, which he made out of some box section that's got an 8mm wall thickness. It weighs about 300 kgs as his front bumper. It's just ridiculous, but hey, you know, if somebody wants to drive into him, that's just fine in his book. Okay, crew, well, if you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, why not click on the subscribe button? You'll see a little gear icon turn up. Click on the gear icon and then you can tick the box and turn on notifications. And that way our friends down at YouTube will send you an email as and when I upload any new videos. And there's usually 3, maybe 4 videos a week. Very busy, just depends when I can fit things in, but it's really cool to see Tool Girl Sam back in the workshop, giving me some extra motivation to get all these backlog of jobs done. Right, Sam, you're on this side now. Okay, crew, you'll also find me on
Facebook, Instagram, Google+, Twitter, and Patreon.
She's getting so good at that now. You're getting even better because, you know.
For someone that doesn't use social media, I'm so good.
Yeah, you are. In actual fact, you need to put some more pictures on your Instagram. There's
yeah,
one
I'm
picture.
probably going to start again.
Okay, well, I've got lots of stills I can give you from my private collection.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Instagram, so I'll delete it and try again harder next time.
Okay, sounds good.
More hashtags.
Excellent. Okay, crew. Like I said, there is the Facebook, the Instagram, the Google Plus, and the Twitter. You can communicate through any of those portals. But first point of contact, if you don't mind, through the comments on YouTube, because that's just a lot easier for me. It's where I am most of the time anyway. And let's face it, that's where the videos are. With Patreon, yes, if you fancy donating, if it saved you a few dollars, not having to go to the garage and being able to change your own spark plugs the correct way, then you can donate that way if you like. All right, chaps. Well, that's about it for this job. We've got 2 or 3 more videos to make this afternoon, so we better crack on. We'll see you around. Goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from
Tool Girl Sam.
Sure is. Cheers, guys. Over and out. And we get the flip up again.
Oh!